I've never done this before. I am actually on two devices talking about the veterans housing need. I want to say hello and welcome to everyone who is stopping by to actually see this live recording. But after this live recording, now we'll go ahead and update some snippets of what the conversation is about. And I am live on TikTok, I am live on YouTube, and I don't like this glare in my eyes. What can I do about that? Anyway, my name is Yvette Jones Swanson, and let me go ahead and share this right here. Let me share this, add it to my story. And I am a veterans realtor. I've been a veterans realtor now for 22 consecutive years. Um, I've been a realtor now for 26 years. And in this space, I have focused on veterans housing, and not just any type of veterans housing, but I focused on um, homeless veterans housing. And the reason I did that is because I was a homeless veteran and I really needed somebody to focus on me, but because I had nobody to focus on me, I was a homeless veteran between the years of 87 to 93. Between 1987 to 1993. You might ask, what happened? What happened to, why were you homeless between 1987 to 1993? Well, I got married 2 years coming out of the military to another military man, and he was still actively serving. Was out, so I'm a veteran at the time, married to an actively serving Marine, and he was physically abusive towards me, and I kept running away, seeking help, and nobody ever had any resources or any help for me. I would go to the VA as a veteran and as a military wife, and there were no services for me. So imagine, as a young woman, having no money, just having to go back to the abuser's home. And the VA never for me. From 1987 to 1993, how I managed to get through my bachelor's degree, don't even ask. It just, his grandmother did help a lot. She did, whenever I told her I needed money for a bus pass or money for books or whatever, she would give me a crisp $100 bill or two crisp $100 bills, something to get me through. They couldn't tell that man what to do. They knew when he was growing up he was a bad little sucker, but nobody else knew that at the time I was alone and had to fend for myself. My family didn't want me. My friends. I'm a pretty girl, so I couldn't be I couldn't be around cause of battered wife drama. We're just looking for security, looking for safety, looking for refuge. So when I became a realtor, I didn't find this community of homeless veterans right away. I didn't know there were more homeless veterans in the area. Long story, bring it full circle. I got my undergraduate degree and I started working for the City of Chicago Department of Revenue. I was the licensing rep over single room occupancies and home repair and public place of amusement. But where my real education came in was SRO, single room occupancy. Because I'm thinking these rooms are only like $350, $500 a month. I could have gotten me two part time jobs, one before school and one after school, which I eventually did. And and then the guy who I was working for was trying to get me. I'm like, can I get a break? So I went to real estate school at the Chicago Association of Realtors while I was working for the city of Chicago and got my real estate license. That's how I got into real estate, but I still didn't know about homeless veterans. I'm thinking I'm going to get into real estate so that I can start investing because that was the first thing I saw somebody do. And then I didn't know how to do that right away, so I got into rentals. That's when I started meeting homeless people, homeless emancipated youth who were under a program. One of the programs was Lawrence Hall Youth Services. Then you had Kaleidoscope. And it was one more. I didn't do too much business with them. Just forgot which one it was. But I know Lawrence Hall Youth Services was the number one. They would come and rent up a whole tier, 12 apartments, and all of these emancipated youths would move there, and the agency would pay the rent while the youth were going to school and they had a job and they were thriving. So now, even though they weren't adopted by their foster parents, they still had a place to live. So then I met seniors, and I'm like, seniors are homeless. Who knew? Growing up, so I didn't know there were homeless seniors. So I'm like, oh, how did this happen? And how are you going to pay your rent? More programs, federal and state funding. Some of them were receiving Social Security. I'm like, oh, well, you have enough Social Security to pay your rent. The rent over here in these apartments are like $650. So if you're getting $1,200 a month, even though it's, and back then the managers, the owners, they didn't care. They could pay the month their rent out of $1,200 for $650. They can move here. They get food stamps. They get a medical card, so they're good. And then I met a senior veteran who was in a wheelchair. I'm like, what the world? A veteran, homeless, and in a wheelchair? How did that happen? So he told me how that happened. I'm like, oh, we got to get you housed. What are you working with? Then he told me he was working with this agency called Access Living. I'm like, oh, let me talk to them. So as I'm talking to her, and I said, I have a place for him to go. I have a building. I think that building was in South. It was in, I know where it was because I just drove past it last week. It was in South Shore. It's or he can roll in because I think it was one little stoop right there, but they created where he can just bump up. So he was able to roll in and go right into his apartment. Now, mind you, it was not ADA accessible, but it was enough for him to go in and live. And the agency utilized federal funds. I'm like, what is this? So I learned about the funding sources that the Access Living organization was paying for this gentleman, veteran in a wheelchair, senior, to live in this apartment. So I'm like, excuse me. Her name was Gloria. I'm like, excuse me, are there any more veterans in this organization that need to be housed? Because I have a lot of apartments. I see how y'all like to pay. And this is really good. I can accommodate your needs. Because then I was a manager of 633 apartment units in the city of Chicago. From South Shore, that's the closest you get to the lake, to Bronzeville, to what's the name of this? Inglewood, and then Auburn Gresham. So all of those areas, that those are the units, the multi uh, family units. Some of them had 40 units in it, 50 units. Some had 12. You know, this ownership company, they really didn't care what they bought. They just bought it up. And altogether, I managed 633 apartments with people. We had a wonderful staff, and that's how we were able to do that. So, then it just kept, they did the veterans, once they found out that I could house them, they kept coming and coming. And I'm like, where are y'all coming from? So then, let me tell you this. Back when the former President Barack Obama was elected, he reenacted the Homeless Veteran Act. It's HB something. It's in one of my books. Um, I should remember. Let me see, which one is it in? I think it might be in this one. So it's, oh, all of my publications are on Amazon. So this publication is Collaborations Housing Solutions for Homeless Veterans. It's for case managers, social workers, and concerned citizens. Um, HB, I don't have on my glasses. Ooh. Anyway, I'll look it up. It's in here somewhere. It's in here. And these, I wrote an article for a newspaper, and it's in this article. Once I put on my glasses, oh, let me put up. Does anybody have any questions? Thank you for being here, talking about how I got into housing homeless veterans as a realtor. And I've housed over 5,000 of them, and they still call every day. And that's what we're going to talk about as well. So hold on. Is it in this article or another article? Okay, nope, it's not here. This is the coming this spring 2013. 235 HUD VASH vouchers will be issued to deserving homeless military veterans within the city of Chicago and Cook County. And then it's the click where you can learn more, because this was online where you can click and learn more. This was the article. That's the young me. Yeah, that's the young me. Where are you located? I am in the Chicagoland area, but what I do is nationwide. But I live in Chicago. I have a class coming up this Thursday. Is it Thursday or Friday? I have a Zoom Thursday, because we are building new construction homes for veterans using their VA home loan. Okay, it might be in this book. Okay, this is Finding Home. This book is also on Amazon. This book helps veterans locate resources, and concerned citizens locate resources where I teach AI in all of my publications. Oh, where is it? Oh, it might be on the. Anyway, I'll find it and tell y'all. But it was a housing um act, homeless housing act for veterans. HB something. This is, I got like 5 books. I've got six go to Amazon.com and type in my name, Yvette Jones Swanson, and then all of my publications will come up. Okay, so I started housing homeless veterans when that housing bill was reenacted. Veterans started coming from everywhere, and luckily I had the knowledge of gathering investors. So before, after I left that one management company, I was still collecting investors because I'm like, okay, all the people don't want to come to this area. So let me, these areas from South Shore all the way over to Auburn, Gresham, and Inglewood, and those areas in between. They don't always want to come here. We have other nationalities, other races. They want to come here, and they want to come here cheap. Internet like we're using it now. So I'm going through the yellow pages. I'm getting names and numbers of management companies. I called two other management companies that I used to work for and told them what I was doing now. And they're like, oh, I don't know how that works, Yvette, because they can't pay their own rent. I'm like, that's what a subsidy is. And now people are real scared. Oh, they're going to take them all away. No, they're not. No, they're not. It's too many people getting paid using these subsidies for them to take them away. Those are contracts. When a person is receiving a subsidy to help subsidize their rent, and the organization is subsidizing that tenant's rent, that's through a contract. That's through a government contract. I hope I don't have to put on my glasses to see this. These pages right here, these are all the government contracts. Wait, I can't see. What you say? True. Yeah, it is true. Who's paying all this money? So let me put my glasses back on so I can see. Okay, so I am in Illinois, right? And I work with veterans, strictly veterans, from homeless to home ownership. My team and I help them become investors and business owners. So we take them from the bottom of the garbage, the bottom, where nobody, who wants to touch a homeless person? When I was homeless, didn't nobody help me. One woman told me, oh, I know where you can go. And she referred me to the YWCA in Evanston. You heard of the YMCA? Well, there's one for women. And I went to the one for women. That's what the W is for. YWCA. I forgot what the YWCA meant. I just remember what the W meant. But anyway, in Illinois, these are the agencies, and this is from A to W. I'm just going to read you the money that these organizations are receiving just for veterans. So you have thresholds. I work with thresholds a lot back in the day. Thresholds. Is thresholds on here? This right here are some of my organizations that I've worked with over the years. Okay, right here. I'm just showing the other camera. So thresholds received 2,053,998. Those are subsidy dollars to pay the rent for a low income veteran. This is the money that they have to use to subsidize that veteran's rent. Then you have Heartland Human Care Services. That agency received $4,738,105. That money is to subsidize the rent for a low income veteran who was homeless. Now, I can go on and on. I can start from A. Give me what state you live in, and I'll pull up the agency in your state that provides last year, September, no, from October of 2024 to September of 2025. So this money is already in circulation in our communities where we live to help subsidize the rent of low income and homeless veterans, provided they are in this program. In these programs. Now, you might ask, what state are you guys in? You might ask, how does a veteran get in these programs? Well, now, isn't that something? Isn't that a great question? Veterans get into programs a lot of different types of ways or none at all. Because if a veteran doesn't know about these programs that are, oh, you're in Illinois. Got you. I'm in Illinois. Um, I'll read you the agencies again. Thresholds, Heartland Alliance, Feather Fist, I work with them all the time. I can drive there. Midwest Shelter for Homeless Veterans, that's on the north side. Then you have Chestnut Health Center, they received over $1 million. Midwest Shelter for Homeless Veterans received $2,637,730. So they have to use this money to subsidize the rent. I am a realtor, okay? I'm a realtor, and I choose to house homeless veterans. Not because of the money, because I could house anybody in Illinois I want to. But I chose this community because I was a homeless veteran and I didn't have anyone to choose me. Nobody knew how to help me when I was a homeless veteran. From 1987 to 1993, I'm running away, never had any of these benefits. Not one, except for YWCA. And then it all dropped there because the girl, my roommate, who was new to me, came in and she was a security guard and she had a gun and she threatened me. I'm like, oh damn, I gotta go back to that man because I knew how that was, but I'd never been shot before. How would that, how could I recover from that? I recovered from bruises and things, but so that cycle started again. Then I lost my baby as a result of one of those beatings, and it was rough. It was rough being a homeless female veteran of domestic violence, and nobody had resources for me. So when I found the community, the homeless veteran community, that's where I planted my feet, and I learned everything I could in in terms of finding resources and making sure this person, this human being who needs help, get access to those resources. In all of my publications, and I got a lot of them, this is the U.S. Military Veterans Educational and Resource Book Series by Vet Mentors. That's me. That is me. Okay? I'm on the back of all of my books because I work very hard. This one was updated. I work very hard for what I do in housing homeless veterans. So I've got a class that's coming up, a realtor's blueprint. A realtor's blueprint, the veteran's path to home, navigating the journey from homelessness to home ownership. In this 3 hour certified class by the IDFPR, that's the Illinois Department of Financial Regulations, IDFPR. It is a 3 hour class and it comes with the book. And again, that's me. It it has a book to go with it. This book is 180 some pages. And the reason why it's so big is because it walks a realtor through the mind of a homeless veteran. How did this homeless veteran get homeless? How did this veteran get homeless? Where when you have a conversation with the homeless veteran, there are some things that you really have to know. When homeless veterans call me, and I keep a list in my book of every day when I get a call from a homeless veteran, because I do the same thing that's in these books. I do the same thing that's in a collaboration, housing solutions for homeless veterans, for social workers, case managers, human care professionals, and concerned citizens. I teach in this book how to find resources. Well, this book is really for case managers, human care professionals, and social workers, because in this book, I teach you how to find the resources, and then you keep up with those resources so they can always be at a phone call away. Because that's what a homeless veteran needs. A homeless veteran needs you to know how to pick up a phone and call somebody who they can help you right away. Not give you a piece of paper with my name on top, literally. A veteran sent that to me, a picture of it with my name has been on top from day one with a red asterisk right next to it saying call Yvette immediately. So he called me immediately, and I talked. Well, first I text them, and they have to text me back everything because I'm not going to be on the phone listening to all of these stories anymore. I just want to get to the bottom of things to get you the solutions you need to get you housed. That's it. Nothing else. And then once I do that, then you can tell me your story. But right now, I got to get you in the framework in thinking that it's about time for me to get housed. What do I need to do? What are the steps? And that's what I teach social workers, case managers, human care professionals, and concerned citizens how to do that in this publication, the collaboration. I asked my um, I asked my insurance guy. I said, Charles, you have a State Farm insurance on 87th Street in Chicago, in the Peel. I think it's the Peel Hill area. I don't know the name of that community. And if a homeless veteran walks into your office and they say, I need help, what would you do? What would you do? What would you do? If a homeless veteran walked into your business establishment, I don't care how they look, they say they are a veteran. They might be dirty, they might be grungy, they might be wet from the rain, they might be cold coming in, wanting to get warm out of the snow, and they're still homeless. What would you do if they walked into your establishment? If a homeless veteran walked into your establishment saying they need help, how could you help that homeless veteran? So he told me, well, Yvette, I don't know. I'll give him a few dollars, to get something to eat and, maybe, someplace to sleep that night, but I don't know what to do. And many people don't. You're going to call the police. They're trespassing. They don't have any money to be here. So what? Get them out. I don't know what to do. You're the police. You serve and protect. Do something. Help this. Just get him out of here. I don't know what you're gonna do. Put him in a jail for the night so he can sleep somewhere. I mean, my God. So all of my publications are on Amazon, and they will teach you how to find resources instantly. Instantly, where you can pick up the phone and talk to a person on the other end. The resources that this veteran could use right now. Really. In this publication, Finding Home, same thing. Same thing. This publication, Finding Home, and I put some samples in here of where veterans have contacted me from. On page 59 from Washington, D.C. On page 73, Hawaii, resources sent. On page 84, Las Vegas, Nevada. Somebody asked me, where do you live? I'm in Chicago. Las Vegas and Hawaii and DC and Florence, South Carolina and Akron, Ohio, Chicago, Illinois. Chicago, Illinois became so much, so many calling me, and I'm like, oh, these are new agencies popping up all the time. I created a Chicago Veterans, a comprehensive guide to federal, state, and local support. Now, you see Bally's Chicago on the front because I had sent them a proposal to sponsor this book. I'm looking for a sponsor of this publication right here. And for every, I forgot how much, but then it'll be like 1,000, 500 or 1,000 free books given away at different veteran affairs. And that's me on the back again because I work hard for what I do. This book has resources in it for Chicago, and it also teaches the veteran how to find resources for him or herself. And I teach AI in all of my books. How do you use ChatGPT? How do you use AI? I teach that in the book very easily. Oh, so Finding Home. Let's go to page, I liked Hawaii. Let's go to page 73. And this just shows you just how easy it is to find resources anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world. That's Hawaii, okay? I got a message on TikTok from a female veteran in Hawaii who needed these resources because the vet, one of the, I think the vet center she was going to, that's not my new water, told her she couldn't leave her, pardon me, her battery charger while she went wherever she was going. Couldn't leave her battery charger to charge up there while she left. And the battery charger is important because at night, when she's in her car sleeping, she needs to keep something charged up. She needs, the phone to work. She needs whatever the battery is going to make work. She needed that battery charged. And the vet center there said, you can't leave it. So for Hawaii, these are the resources she received. Resources for west side of Kauai. I don't know how to pronounce it. Kauai. Here are some resources that may be able to assist a homeless female veteran in finding permanent affordable housing on the west side of Kauai. You have the housing, the county housing authority, federal funds, federal funds. You have another Caillou County Housing Agency, federal funds, Caillou Community Alliance. This community alliance offers supportive services and connection to resources for individuals and families experiencing homelessness, including veterans. Federal funds. Your phone charging. Social, here's some more, two more pages. Okay. So that's 3 pages of resources, including now over here. The first set of resources, those are federal. The second set, those are social service agencies. The Economic Opportunity, Salvation Army, Catholic Charities, another community alliance, another home ownership center. Then you have shared housing resources. Who knew? Kau Community Alliance, shared housing. That's like the SROs here, maybe You have the housing authority, shared housing. Oh, Kawu Veteran Center, shared housing assistance. So more resources. And apply, and I told her, apply for disability compensation. Veterans, apply for disability compensation. Is something wrong with all of us who were in the military? And when you say, oh, there's nothing wrong with me, clearly, clearly, there's something wrong with all of us. Even if you weren't in the military, but because you were in the military, there's something wrong with you. We didn't come out the same. When I went into the military, I had never been with the grown man before, but there was one doing the SA, doing the SA, doing the SA. To me, I'm 18. I don't know you. You a grown man. You old like my brothers. Old like my. I did not come out of the military the same. Huh. So then you have more resources. More resources. Oh, oh, that just made my heart palpitate. Then, oh, Las Vegas, Nevada. This it's in finding home. How do you find a home when you're homeless? If you're a homeless veteran, how can you find a home? You can't. You can't. And I'm not saying this book is going to be the savior for everybody because you may not even know about this book. But if you are a family member, you are a concerned citizen, you are a social worker, a case manager, a neighbor, just somebody who wants to know how to find resources in your local area to help these homeless veterans. Go to my Amazon page, my name, Yvette Jones Swanson, and you will find Finding Home. It teaches you how to help a veteran find a home and use his or her resources, access those resources. Here's the book for social workers, case managers, human care professionals to teach you too. What else do I have on there? Another one for people who want to do veterans housing. Now, let me tell you something about veterans housing. People always say, I want to house veterans. I want to do veterans housing. What is veterans housing? Let me break it down. I have a list of 7 different types of veterans housing that people can do. It depends on who do you want to service, how do you want to service them, and what type of money do you want to make. Because remember, veterans come with a lot of benefits. We just have to know how to tap into those resources. And this is a class that I wrote that's approved by the IDFPR, that's the Illinois Department of Professional Services. I'm licensed to teach by the state of Illinois for realtors, and I have a license to teach this class, and this class is also licensed. It's called A Realtor's Blueprint: The Veteran's Path to Home, Navigating the Journey from Homelessness to Home Ownership. I've housed over 5,000 homeless veterans, and they call every single day. They still call me every single day. And I have a license to teach by the state of Illinois for realtors. And I have a license on this page. And all of these veterans received. Hello. Oh my God. I wish I had been here earlier because you just caught my full attention. I'm a veteran. I'm going to keep on talking about it. So stick around, and share this page because we need to know how to help each other. especially our homeless veteran brothers and sisters. I was a homeless female veteran. I was running away from a society that and I fainted. My heart went berserk, and they like, you can't stay. First they said it was a medical, and then I got out. Ain't nothing wrong with your heart. What? So now, what? So now it's still honorable, but no medical, no money. I'm like, oh God. So I met this guy. He was actively serving in the Marine Corps. We got married and he started beating me from 87 to 93. So I'm running away from home, never finding resources. Go to the VA. They sent me away just the way I came in. I became a realtor. I found the community of veterans who were homeless, all types of homeless, and I started housing them from homeless through helping them get resources or use their resources to go into transitional or go into permanent housing. A lot of them, I told them, look, you need to apply for your benefits. You need your service connection disability. I know what it'll do for you. So they would get 100% and come back to me and say, Yvette, look, they want to go up on my rent. It was $250. Now they want it doesn't. You need to buy a house, a two, three, or four flat. So I was doing veteran home buying and housing seminars, and I still do. I'll have one live this coming Thursday on Zoom. You just got to go register on Eventbrite under my name, Yvette Jones Swanson. And I started helping them buy homes. So I became a veterans realtor, housing homeless veterans to home ownership, to becoming investors and business owners, and going back buying property to house even more veterans. So, and it is a wonderful thing because thank you so much for the hearts. That's what we need in our community, and that's what I teach. I've got several. This is a 3 hour certification course approved by the IDFPR. It's called A Realtor's Blueprint: The Veteran's Path to Home, Navigating the Journey from Homelessness to Home Ownership. It's about 186 pages because I teach realtors you don't have to be intimidated. You don't have to be afraid when a homeless veteran approaches you. You don't have to send them away because of lack of knowledge. This course will teach realtors how to house homeless veterans. We have benefits. That's one thing I could say about the veteran community. I don't care if you're homeless. As long as you know about your benefits through resources, you don't have to be homeless. You don't. You don't have to be homeless. There's so much money in our society to help homeless veterans get housing. $3.2 billion. $3.2 billion that's already in circulation. I know because I refer the veterans to these organizations to get those resources, to get the benefits of housing subsidy. That's what all of this is. So realtors always ask me, that how do you get paid as a realtor housing homeless veterans? It make sense to me. So I know because I was a homeless veteran, duh. And when I started meeting homeless veterans, I had to figure out who's going to pay their way because they can't stay homeless. That's one thing for sure. Can't stay home. Somebody is getting money to pay for these veterans to go somewhere. So you have to learn, and I teach that in this class. How do you find those resources for veterans when the veteran doesn't even know? I teach you how to do that. In my publication, a business owner can use this book because I teach AI in all of my books. How to use AI effectively to find resources for veterans nationwide. This book right here, Finding Home, and the collaborative to teach social workers, case managers, and human care professionals. Those are your police officers, fire, nurses. Oh my God, it's exhausting. And the reason I say it's exhausting is because if this is your job, the government is paying you a salary to be a social worker, a case manager, a human care professional, and you can't even find a resource that's going to support this veteran's homelessness, getting out of it. Instead, you give them me a check. The VA does not send me a check. They send these social workers, case managers, and human care professionals a check every 2 weeks, but they send the homeless veteran to me. The worst of the worst. I've housed homeless veterans who are of it all. This is deep. We should not have homeless veterans, and the only reason we do is because people are lazy and don't want to learn how the system really works. That's all this is. The government is spending all of this money, and these organizations are misappropriating this money. That's my partner calling me. And you know the reason they're misappropriating. Look, I've been doing this game for 22 years. And I have seen, I have seen misappropriation of money, of federal money that organizations received from the federal government, and their organizations were shut down. One of them, and she had a nice location on. I can't say it because then I would be incriminating someone when she was already a criminal. So they took her funding away. And when I'm talking about funding, let me tell y'all how much these organizations are receiving in federal money. I'm going to go to California. Here's one, Nation's Finest. Oh my God! Nation's Finest received 22,942,240. Nation's Finest. Nation's Finest. Hold on. We're Arizona and California. Arizona and California. Homeless vet. Who missed it? Wisconsin. Okay, let me get to Wisconsin. Nation's. Oh my God. They service Phoenix, Mesa, Maricopa County, Imperial County, Arizona, Balance of State, Sierra. Oh, $22 million. Oh, look, like I tell y'all, no veteran needs to be homeless because there's money, and this is just one pot of money. This is just one pot of money. Come to my class. Come to my overview this Friday for a realtor's blueprint, so I can show you where the money is. So that way, that realtors, you don't have to be intimidated when you hear on the other end of your phone that I'm a homeless veteran. You won't have to be intimidated because you know exactly where to go. Okay, so, oh, you said what state? Wisconsin. Okay. All right. See if you know any of these organizations. Wisconsin VW. These are federal organizations. Okay. What's Wisconsin? WI. So WI, Indian Head Community Action Agency Center for Veterans Issues Ltd. They received a whopping $5,523,440 for veterans. For veterans. Now, as a realtor, how do you get this veteran over there? I teach you that. And also how to become a viable connection, a viable partner. I saw one of the organizations that I had an agreement with years and years ago, and he asked me, "Will you send over your referrals to me?" I'm like, yeah, as a contractor, I will. I'm a federal contractor. Uh-oh. Okay, I'm back. I'm a federal contractor. So if I'm sending somebody over to you and you're a federal contractor too, and I know this because guess what? You're on this list. So now I can become your sub. You want me to send you all of these veterans who I get on the other opposite side of my phone nationwide because you are a nationwide federal contractor. You know how I know? Because you're on this list in several places. I don't care where I look you up, you are here, and I'll tell you exactly who they are. Volunteers of America, of Illinois, of Kansas City, of Volunteers of America. I need to go down the list and highlight everywhere that they are. Here's the Volunteers of America, Michigan. Okay, hold on. I'm not going to go down all these pages, but you get the drift. Volunteers of America, Greater New York. They received 3 million in New York. Volunteers of America, Northern Rockies received Montana. Volunteers of America received 10 million. $917,945. Wait, 10,917,000. No, $1,945. 10 million from Montana. So you want to tell me you still have homeless veterans in Montana? What you doing with all this 10 million over here? Hmm? You don't know where those homeless veterans are. Really? Really? Oh, so what you need to do is read one of these books. You concerned citizen, your RN nurse, your case manager, your social worker, your business owner, your next door neighbor. Go to Amazon and get one of my books and learn how to house homeless veterans in your community. My name is Yvette Jones Swanson. My national publications for veterans is U.S. Military Veterans Educational and Resources Book Series by Vet Mentors. That's me. I put this book series together to educate our community because people keep telling me we shouldn't have homeless veterans. And no, we shouldn't because this a lot of this is $3.2 billion nationwide. And this is just one pot of money. This is on the federal level to these organizations that are connected to this pot of money. These are service providers. Okay? And you learn that in my class. And then you have forget about the 7 different ways to house veterans as an entrepreneur, um, as a conglomerate. You might own hotels. You might want to make improvements to your hotels and some upgrades to receive a, what's the issue over here? Hold on. Issue picture in picture mode closed to maintain recording quality. What should I do? Chat with support. What's picture in picture? I don't even know what you're talking about. I'm on this riverside. But yeah, so any questions, comments, concerns? Good night, love. Good night. North Carolina. Ooh, hold on. North Carolina, are you still here? North Carolina. Let me know if you still here, North Carolina. We're talking about M. Wait a minute, let me go to N. Yes, I'm here. All right, all right. Okay, North Carolina. M, N. Wait, M. I'm still in M. NC is North Carolina, right? Okay, write this down. I always tell people when they call me, you need to have a notebook and a pen. But all my calls are recorded anyway, and I can go back. But I'm like, still, write it down. You're calling me. You're going to get some information. You're going to need it. Ooh, North Carolina. It's a lot of homeless veterans North Carolina, Homewood Bound of Western North Carolina. They service Asheville, Buncombe County. They're in Vision 6. They received $1,745,436. Then you have Catholic Charities Diocese. I went to Catholic school. I still don't know how to say this word. Diocese. Catholic Charities Diocese of Charlotte, Charlotte, Mecklenburg County, Vision 6. They received $1,003,415. So $1,003,415. Volunteers of America, and he wants me to send him all of the homeless veterans that I get. So I'm going to send Volunteers of America, the CEO, because I met her and I told her I did your first intake form back in, shoot, what year? 2008, 2009. They didn't even, I said, how are you referring these people to me? I need it in writing. So here, you use this intake form. This is my intake form, and you use this intake form, and then it became their intake form, and that's how you refer veterans to me for housing. And when I get veterans, I'm going to use the same intake form and send them to you. So that's how I kept track of how. That's how I know it's over 5,000 homeless veterans, and that was just ASAP. That was just Volunteers of America. Let me see where. Mm-hmm. Right there. Volunteers of America. They're all over the place. Everywhere. There's, so now they're building, but still they don't have enough housing to house all of those homeless veterans who are in the city. And then, too, how do you find them all? You have to partner with the community. They can, every referral, let's say you're a church and you get, yes, ma'am, thank you, you're welcome. And you get homeless veterans to walk in. We're going to refer these veterans to you so you can use this money that the federal government has issued to you. You can use this money. You can use this money, and you can have this money to pay your full staff, to pay you, to pay your commercial space that you're leasing, to help you build houses now, housing for veterans, which the government is paying their rent in the buildings that you built. So what money is it of yours? It's all from the government, and it's all for the use of veterans housing, veterans mental health, veterans programs. So when a person tells me, Yvette, I want to house veterans, a key, what does that mean? What does it mean? It's 7 different ways that you can house veterans. And as a realtor, all of these ways is how, because all of these ways to where they are going. And this is just one pot of money. We didn't even talk about Section 8. That's another pot of money, and it's still from the federal government. None of it. This is a different pot of money that pays the rent and other benefits for homeless veterans. That's it. This money right here is earmarked for homeless veterans and homeless veterans dilemmas. Put it that way. You behind on your veteran? That's what this money is for. You are homeless veteran and you need some place to live? That's what this is for. Let me see. Your lights are turned off. Okay, we got some money. So you see, oh, and that's just one pot of money. You have, and this money right here can go for transitional housing, it can go for permanent housing. Their program might be for 6 months, it might be for a year, it might be for 2 years. It was one program that I referred one of my veterans to. They had him in the program for almost 5 years. And in 5 years, he worked on his credit. He and his wife went back to school. He got a job. She got a better job. He got his 100% service connection disability pay. He bought a house for his family. Now, did he use me as a realtor? No, but it's okay. It is quite okay. We're still ace coon boom. That's the whole purpose of this whole program. Not for me to sell them all. Some come, but a lot of them come back, and he did. But when he came back, I just couldn't accommodate him. I had, let me tell y'all something, and this gets real deep. I had a heart attack, COVID-19 pneumonia. Total right knee replacement, a left hip replacement, and the talks of a hysterectomy, along with 9 medications. And I'm like, I, I know I'm sick. I know my body is full of something. And I wrote a book about that too. Hold on, it's also on Amazon. This is the book I wrote about that. My journey to your no, my guide to your hold on, my guide to your 100-day journey to better health. That was me before and after. And the VA said, "Oh, I see. Your X-rays came back. You need a right knee replacement." What? How is that supposed to fix me? Because the rest of me was still just jacked up. You need a left hip replacement. What? I'm still What are you talking about? You need a hysterectomy. You're not using those body parts anymore. You having any more babies? I'm like, y'all crazy. So I took myself on a 100-day journey to better health. I told my doctors, look at here, I'm going to try or die trying, but I'm not going to do it your way because you're trying to kill me. I'm trying to help me. And I did. I did a full 21-day raw and this detox that cleansed out my whole body. I went from 245 to 225, and now I'm down under 170. Uh-oh. Okay, good. I will be 60 in July. I know. Thank you. Oh, I feel amazing. So, is anybody still here? Please let me know because I'm just going to continue on this little conversation because I haven't had this in a long time. So, my partner was supposed to be on, but he couldn't get on. We had some highlights from our meeting, and that's what we're going to do is go live and have our meeting live because we are federal contractors. We are SBA uh, certified and VA verified companies. Let me see, SDVOSB, Service Disabled Veteran Owned Small Business. I am also a BEPD, I forgot what that meant. MBE, Minority Business Enterprise, Veteran Business Enterprise, Woman Business Enterprise, African American Business Enterprise. Oh God, it's a lot. Veteran owned business, service disabled veteran owned business, woman owned small business. It's a lot. I got a lot of certifications, as you see there. You can scan that, and I will also post it. So when people say, "Oh, I need help with my business," can you help me with my business? Yeah, as a business. So services are not free. I'm a businesswoman, and you pay for that business. Um, we do consultations, and if we can write your business plan and guide you to becoming an entrepreneur where you're running. Hold on, let me get that book. Oh, brother, is it? Oh, here it is. Okay, oh, here it is. All right, the Veteran Care Book. So, and people say, oh my God, this is a doozy. This one is a doozy because I think it's three different ways as a medical, and that's the difference. Medical veteran care entrepreneur. It's and it's in a home setting. So it's not in a facility. This is in a home. And this is the one you do not have to live in. However, you have to have staff who are licensed. And that's what and this book is also on Amazon. Vet Veteran care entrepreneurship, and this is for the veteran care home. All right. Oh, let me see. This one, I love this type of home because these are adults. They have very similar backgrounds, similar interests. They're like brothers or they're like sisters, and they all need some type of care. from a professional. Their doctors maybe come in once a week to clip the toenails or um, to change a bandage, whatever the doctors come for. I don't know. And then you have the Medicare come pick them up to take them to there because they still want to be somewhat independent, or you take them, or you have your staff take them, or you have an Uber, or medical car Uber, or have the medical car from the VA come pick them up, but they have 24-hour care in this type of home. Then you have the foster care. Think about it. And then she tells me all the time, Yvette, just think about the kids. Think about the kids. I'm like, yeah, I got it now. So a foster care is different. Is different from the care home. The foster care provider, the veterans live in your home with you. You're their family. You're their foster care daughter. You're their foster care cousin. You're their foster care neighbor. They live in your house. So this might have been a veteran who you knew from the neighborhood, and you're like, oh no, Mr. Brown is homeless and he's a veteran. Oh my God, wait a minute. I remember reading that book. Hold on. I remember reading the book. Wait, this one, Collaborations. I remember reading that book. I know how to get Mr. Brown some benefits. I know how to get him some resources. Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown. Hmm. Now, check this out. If Mr. Brown is not homeless, you can still get him benefits. And he can have a care professional come to him. And the VA pays for that. To be That's one of the benefits. Or if Mr. Brown, let's say Mr. Brown is like, you know what? Look. And you see Mr. Brown, all your kids are gone. I don't ever see your kids come around. Mr. Brown. He said, you know what? I'm gonna sell this house and I'm just gonna move into a senior citizen building. I really don't want to go to one of those because I'll still be alone. What? Mr. Brown, I grew up next door to you. You're like an uncle to me. I don't want to ever hear you say you'll be alone. Mr. Brown. So the story goes on, right? So now you're about to sell your house, Mr. Brown. Okay, you know what? I know I read this book. I read this book and I met some people because I followed the instructions in this book. And it told me to meet some real estate agents, vet them, see if they're ethical, see if they know their craft, see if they love people, see if they've ever worked with a veteran before. Now I got some in the book because I vetted them. I knew how to find them. I knew what questions to ask. Okay? That's in the book. Now, so you call Yvette Jones Swanson. Yvette, my neighbor is a veteran and he wants to sell his house. Okay, I got you. I'm going to send an agent over there because I don't do that anymore. But I have some agents who I train. They know all about that stuff. And if anybody needs any questions, concerns, I'm always just a phone call away. Yeah, okay, I got you. We gonna get the house sold. You I just learned a lot from you tonight. Thank you so much. You are so welcome. Stick around. It's more. So now, Mr. Brown, y'all done sold stuff in Mr. Brown's house, and you're like, Mr. Brown, I don't want to see you go to a nursing home. I just can't. For real though, Mr. Brown. I was born and I grew up knowing you. I would come to your porch and you would give me Kool-Aid. Mr. Brown, no. You know what? It's a program. It's a program that I learned about at the VA that will and you say you 100%. Wait, let me finish. You say you 100% service connected, Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown said, yeah. I did that a long time ago. My house, there's no taxes on my house, and the mortgage was paid, so I was good. So you're like, Mr. Brown, um, we could have a conversation. I would say, Mr. Brown, you don't have to sell your house if you don't want to sell your house, because we can set your house up where you can continue to receive income on that house every single month, and you don't even have to live there. Mr. Brown, like, what you say, girl? You don't have a mortgage. Now, you're going to have to pay taxes because you'll be moving out of the house because your neighbor said you're going to move in with her. And she's going to be your foster care daughter. So she's going to be getting paid every month while you live in her house as her uncle, her foster care uncle. Yeah. And Mr. Brown's house next door is generating him income single month. I'm just saying. Because remember, we still have veterans who need to be housed. So, how can Mr. Brown use his house to generate an income every month? It's a lot of ways he can do that. Oh, we talked about the veteran care home, right? So, somebody in the community who wants to be an entrepreneur, she was a nurse at the VA. She like, you know what? I want to operate a veteran care home. It could be a Scylla home. It's another one where veterans live there and somebody is there 24 hours a day. And somebody is paying that rent on that house because the entrepreneur doesn't own the house. So now that rent is going to Mr. Brown. His house is generating income as a veteran care home or a Scylla home for homeless veterans or veterans who are disabled or veterans who have a TBI, veterans who just can't cope and they live in this home together. And now it's a program. So this entrepreneur who is running that program is oh my God. Oh my God, is receiving federal funds every single month for every single veteran who lives in that house. So not only is Mr. Brown getting his rent, but that entrepreneur is getting paid as a contractor with the federal government to house these would have been homeless veterans. And that's just one way of Mr. Brown renting his house. Because Mr. Brown, he's not going to operate that program. He's older now. He's living with his neighbor niece. So now, let's say, the neighbor niece says, you know what, Mr. Brown? I heard Yvette, and I also heard Lene. I think her name is Linnea. She's here on TikTok and she teaches about independent living facilities, independent living homes. That's another option. Let's say Mr. Brown had 4 bedrooms in his house next door and a really nice finished basement with another 2 bedrooms down there. And then he had the dormer busted out, open, and rehabbed, and now it's a master unit up there. Whatever, bedrooms all over the place. So now the neighbor niece says, and I learned how to do independent living homes. So, Mr. Brown, it's like 4, 6, 8. We have that off. 9, 10 bedrooms in your house and 2.5 baths. So you know what we could do? Have two veterans per room, and each veteran pays like $750. Do the math. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Wait, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times 10. That's $8,000 a month, right? Right? So So now Mr. Brown, he's like, you know what? You know what, neighbor niece? I think you right. That's a real good option. And we live right next door. So we're going to engage with these veterans every day and make sure they're well taken care of. That's what we're going to do. That's option number two. Or you might say, you know what? I don't want all those folks in my house. They might tear it up. I don't know what Mr. Brown say. See, I just want one nice family. I want to see another family enjoy the house. So I'm going to rent it out. But not just any kind of rent. No, no, no. No, no, no. He's going to rent it out to Section 8. Mm-hmm. A four-bedroom because the basement of bedrooms, they may not be real bedrooms according to Section 8 because of different rules and regulations. Now, can you have people sleeping down there once you move in? Of course, they're not going to come back and say, y'all can't sleep in the basement. No, they're not going to say that. So now you've got four, maybe the dormer that was blown out. That could be because the ceiling height is real and it's not one of those, bumping your head. No, it has a window. It has, everything that it's approved. So now you have 5 bedrooms, and he says, you know what? I'll just take a 4-bedroom voucher. So that 4-bedroom voucher may be $2,800 a month from your regular rent that program, and she'll be running the program, getting a contract, having a contract with the VA, and paying Mr. Brown rent. But she'll be getting like probably 2 million a year, yes, or 900,000 for having that veteran care home. Yeah, or he could have it as an independent living home and have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 veterans living in that house and getting like 8 grand a month, Mr. Brown. Or or Section 8 getting what the 2,400 rent a month guaranteed coming to his bank account every month. So it's a lot of different ways of accessing this funding from the government to pay for homeless veterans housing. And as a realtor, how do we get paid for housing homeless veterans? It's real simple. We find them housing. Now, when we find them housing, who owns the house? Who owns the apartment complex? Who owns the place where they're going to live? Who's going to get paid every single month with, or funding they come to you with? Who's receiving that rent? An owner, a landlord, yeah, an agency, because if they're placing that, like who was it on here? Senior suites. Okay, senior suites. I used to refer various veterans to senior suites, and they would send a check. They're getting paid by the government to do what? Subsidize rent. So it makes no sense for a veteran, for a realtor, not to get paid for their housing professional services. So let's say the veteran goes to Mr. Brown's house, and that veteran has what's called a HUD VASH voucher. That's a Section 8 voucher, right? We get that. So now that voucher is going to generate a rent amount every single month. So who's getting that rent? Mr. Brown. So now, as a realtor, what you're going to do is make sure that veteran has completed an application. You have the same way you work with a regular person without benefits. They have a regular job. So you're going to do an application. You're going to let Mr. Brown know a few things and all your other uh, investors. You're going to let them know a few things. Because what they're not going to do, what they're, let me be more professional. What what you should educate them on so that they won't do it. And I teach those tools in my class, which is an approved by the Illinois Department of Professional and Financial Regulations, the IDFPR. And that class is to teach realtors how to work with a homeless veteran. Because now, yeah, I'm going to teach you how to find these resources. So this veteran won't have to be homeless. I got a veteran who called me over the weekend. He was referred to me by another veteran. And he said, I ran out of money. My last day in this motel is tomorrow. I'm like, where you say you are? Oh, okay. He's in DeKalb. He's in St. Charles, but he is going to DeKalb. I'm like, okay, no problem. I sent him the resources. I said, and another thing, um, have is your church on that list? That's a resource. Some people didn't know that, right? You know your community is also a resource. hmm So he said, "Oh, my church isn't on that list." Oh, I'm like, "Oh, well, contact them anyway, because they may have a benevolence fund. You might need to stay there a couple more nights until you do an intake of one of these organizations that's on that list." Yes. So he thanked me. He said nobody has ever given him any information. I said, well, how long have you been homeless? He said, almost 3 years. Almost 3 years. Yeah. And nobody, I understand. Because I'm like from 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93. 7 years. No resources. And I'm like, it's exhausting. But as you can tell, in this short amount of time, there is 3 billion, 3.2 billion of resources. See if you can see those numbers. Yeah, right there. And it's from A to W that veterans have access to. This is what I do. is what I've been doing for the past 22 years. Gathering resources, finding resources. Great job. You've gone live for 90 minutes. Don't forget to take a break. What? I've been drinking water. And then when I'm done, I'm going to get myself prepared so I can jog and stretch. Oh, that feels so good. I just want to thank y'all for being here. Who's still here? You said continue, please. I love it. I honestly love what I do. Mm. It's like it's like God has given me a superpower to know how to put things together for veterans, for homeless veterans, and veterans looking to thrive. Because I can write the plan and make it simple, make it plain, and veterans can go afar. Hold on. Okay. This is my third edition, Veterans Buying Real Estate Guide for Today's Market. That's me. So this one had two prior editions. So this one is the most current. Oh, and I really like this one because it shows the people. It shows the people in the workshops and veterans who purchased homes from this family right here. They were a homeless family. A homeless family. Then the stories that they would tell me, I'm like, please stop. They said, Yvette, it was crazy. They said they were in that apartment and I remember them when they first got the apartment because they called me and I'm like, I don't have anything where you want to be, and they wanted to be in Oak Park, Forest Park area. So I'm like, I would have to literally find something, but in the meantime, keep looking. If I find something, if my team and I find something, we'll let you know. They said we wish we had found something, but we couldn't. So they 12 years in that apartment. I'm like, why didn't you call me back? 12 years in that apartment. They said it because they were downstairs in the garden apartment, and it would flood constantly. I'm like, why didn't y'all? They didn't know. They didn't know. So when I got them, oh, we bought a nice house in the area. This is them. Hold on. That's them closing. They closed on their house that day. Right there. They closed on their house that day. I should have taken, and that was in my class, one of my classes right there. It's in one of my classes. So I would bring um, professionals to the class because I can't talk about everybody's everything. I'm a realtor. I help you buy, sell, and create happiness in businesses. So the lender would come and talk about, how to um, um, not just qualify for, but get approved for a VA loan. And I'm like, okay, what other kind of loans are we gonna talk about here? Because everybody just does not want, in all houses for VA won't be approved. They won't. You can't um, sell a veteran a house that needs extensive repair on a regular VA loan. So and I would tell because nobody had told me this that so I would tell so my veterans they knew me as I only sell pretty houses. Don't take me to no ugly house because it's not going to be approved with your VA loan. It was that was my whole thing. So I'm going through lenders, going through lenders. I'm like, you know what? One thing you're not gonna do, you're not gonna do it, is do that to one of my veterans. Nope. So you can't come back. No, my name. No. Mm-mm, mm-mm. So I would go through lenders. Some of them were slow. Some didn't respond. What? If I'm calling you, asking you about our consumer, and first of all, started with me, so I'm going to say my veteran. I just loaned him to you. So you have to do your job, take your part in this. And if your partner, me, is texting you or calling you or emailing you, and you're telling me I call you too much, first of all, the veteran who you're working with does not know you at all. The veteran who you're working with has a relationship with me. Yeah. He or she met me and got comfortable and trusted me. And I entrusted this veteran to you. So now this veteran is calling me, asking me because he or she isn't comfortable with you yet. It may never be. I'm going to be that buffer if I need to be. So if I text you or call you or email you and ask you a question or get a clarification or something, whatever you're supposed to do, that's what you need to do. I even had an attorney, true story, who I had to get rid of, who I got rid of. When she said, well, I forgot if it was a man or woman. Man, let's say a male. What does he want now? If if he said he's calling you, and I told him to call you because that's the question I cannot answer, and I'm not an attorney. So if I call you and you don't answer, if I text you and you don't respond, and he calls you and you don't answer, he texts you and you don't respond, and then you call me back and say, well, what does he want? He wants to talk to you. He has an attorney question for you. So he's not, is he getting on your nerves? Because last I heard, he's hired you. So anyway, I had to get rid of that attorney. I said, no, that's something we're not going to do. Nope. Mm-mm. Now, you may not be as quick as I am to pick up a phone or answer a text message or reply to an email. You may not be as quick as I am, and it's okay. But what you're not going to do is take your damn time. You're not going to do that. And you're not going to blow us off. That's what you're not going to do. So I'm very, very protective when it comes to working with veterans. And that's why I had never put them out there like that. Because some veterans, I still have veterans to this day who have never told anyone they were homeless, but I housed them. And they have mad love, mad respect for me because I won't tell either. If you don't tell, I'm not telling. Why? It's, that's how you want your story. I had a veteran who was homeless. He was being evicted out of one of my investors' properties. And I'm like, look, dude, you got to get your stuff because the sheriff is going to be out there tomorrow. So he was able to rent a U-Haul truck. And he asked me if I would come over because he didn't have a car. Take him to get the U-Haul truck. some of his whoever came over to help him put the stuff in the truck. My son, he was there to help him put stuff in the truck. Um, we drove, met him at the truck because the dog was with us in our car. He was a real nice dog. His name was Alex. He was a boxer. And I didn't even like dogs, but Alex, I loved Alex. So anyway, I wanted Alex. Um, and so it got everything loaded in the U-Haul. And I'm like, oh, okay, so where do you want me to take you? And when he told me he had nowhere to go, I'm like, oh. And this is something I had never done before. Never. But because I knew him, I housed him 2 times out of homelessness. And this third time, I'm like, man, I called first. I called Featherfist, and they said he can't bring the dog. I'm like, and we can't keep a dog more than 10 days because I live in this co-op. He wasn't a dog. He wasn't a service dog, and he wasn't my service dog. So I'm like, oh, and you done exhausted all of your resources from this list from Volunteers of America, talking about he can't get any more resources. Oh, so I'm like, oh God, all right, come on, you can come stay with us, you and Alex. I have a futon in the basement, so he stayed there. Um, he was going on interviews because he's a professional man. He's a professional MBA. He's studying to be something, a PhD in something now. So he was a professional. Just and I'm like, what you gonna do? Oh, where you and that dog gonna live? And you don't even have a car. So it was rough, but we got along, and my kids he really helped around the house. So he really helped with my son, and he was really a decent guy. And we're still friends to this day. Now he's a homeowner. Oh, so he got the job. I rented him another place. In this place, they're talking about he has, and he'll tell me, he said, but I don't know how you do it. I'm like, don't worry about how I do it. It ain't nothing but God doing this. He had 3 evictions on his credit. 3 evictions on his credit. And I still got him a house to rent with 3 evictions. Veterans have benefits, right? Yeah, we got a lot of benefits. And one thing I don't let anybody do is play with one of my veterans. I have a letter in one of these books from the VA that says I have a 99 percentile rating for housing homeless veterans. A 99 percentile. And I remember the one. Oh, you talk about a shift in the atmosphere. That one did it, shifted, but it was nobody but God. But it took that one shift in the atmosphere. The VA called me with an attorney on the phone to tell me that I can no longer service homeless veterans. Like, what? I don't work there. First of all, I'm a realtor. If they want to call me to get housed, I'm going to house them. Well, I'm going to tell all the social workers and case managers to no longer contact you and no longer send any veterans your way because you stole $20. I'm like, a what? You call me and accuse me of stealing $20 from who? A homeless veteran who I picked up, drove around, took to the apartment that he said yes to, took him to get something to eat, and then took him back to where I picked him up from the homeless, a safe haven. And I stole $20. Mm. So the silver lining around that around that mess landed me this opportunity. One moment, please. It is in here. I think it might be in all. This is in the publication. This is in the new course that is approved by the Illinois Department of Financial and some IDFPR. It's a 3 hour course. Hold on. Oh, here. So she put me out talking about I stole $20. Like, you know what? You're crazy, and he was drunk. That's what that was. You believe what? Him? Okay, so this right here, let me see. Oh, you can see it first. That's when I started doing the veteran housing and home buying workshops. But I started with a resource fair. This resource fair was like the third one of its kind. I did the first resource fair for homeless veterans at Jesse Brown VA. And then the second one as well. And then the next ones going forward, I did at the Forest Park Vet Center. And veterans, I mean, it was standing room only. It was just phenomenal. Veterans were coming because they had never heard about resources. I can get a free phone. I can get my lights, my back bill paid, my back gas bill paid. So now when I move someplace, I can get some lights and some gas. What? I can get my security deposit paid. What? Because some places wanted a security deposit or a non refundable move in fee. And all of these services are what I brought to the veterans. I'm like, I can get some free furniture. What? And more, and more, and more. Because when you, let me see. I can't see. Okay, let me read that. Hold on. I just learned. Okay, anybody else here? Hello. Who's here? Tell me who's here. Tap the screen. So you're setting up a veteran. You're setting up a veteran for success. That's the whole thing. People want to say they want to house veterans. My first thing is, what's the purpose? Not the purpose of you just housing veterans because you want to make some money. That's going to happen anyway. That's a byproduct. But why do you want to house homeless veterans? Why do you want to house homeless veterans? And I think I should be able to read chat. Ooh, somebody's chatting with me. Oh, I don't know how to operate that one. So, you want to house homeless veterans. How does that look? That's my first question to you. That's my first question. How does it look to you? When you say, Yvette, I want to house homeless veterans. Okay, and how does that look to you? Paint me the picture you see in your mind because I don't see what you see. I don't see anything yet. I know how to house homeless veterans any type of way. But How? Because the way you house a homeless veteran is a business. Ain't short of it. It's a whole business. And you have to decide which business you want to engage yourself in, because there are certain things you have to know about each one of those housing types. Each one is going to come with a set of rules. They're not all the same. Funding is not all the same. Programs is not all the same. So when a person says, I want to do some veterans housing, that's a whole business. How do you want your business to look? And then I create a program around that model that you have in your head. And then you have to do the work. I'm not going to be at that house. I don't even live in Texas. We have a client in Texas. Y'all will see because I'm going to post videos. Me and my partner, we have we proposed a beautiful nature's path healing and wellness center proposal to a veteran who owns 2.2 acres of land in rural Georgia. I'm like, oh, this is just. I told my holistic doctor today about the plan, and he said, Yvette, that's beautiful because it's a whole program that's funded by the federal government. Programs, not just housing. You can house a homeless veteran in a lot of different type of ways. A lot of different type of ways. But how do you get the funding? You get the funding through the programs. So you're going to get paid through the programs and through the housing. I mean, it's just double. We have a ton of benefits in in our community as veterans. And I enjoy, I truly enjoy the opportunity of putting those resources together and teaching others how to do it. Hold on. I'm seeing this behind my head. Ah, this was an award that I received from the Illinois Department of Veteran Affairs. And it's 25 women leaders. Wait, Illinois Women Leaders of 2025. Illinois Women Leaders of 2025. And that's my name, Yvette Jones Swanson. I got that this year, 2025, for housing over 5,000 homeless veterans. This isn't the first award, but this is really, really a nice one. I was on WGN. I was on in a lot of news, and I'm going to be in a whole lot more coming up because of what's about to happen. Where do you go from there? Where do you go from housing over 5,000 homeless veterans? Well, you house another 5,000 more, and not just me, but teaching other people how to do it nationwide. Oh, wait. And all of my this is not on Amazon yet, but it will be on Amazon soon because I'll be doing the first class for this May May 25th at a um, veterans organization in Chicago. Of I think she's a foundation. Again, it's community service of housing homeless veterans. It's not restricted to just realtors because a lot of realtors don't know how to do it. They don't know how to help a veteran access resources. So they're like, I don't know what to do for you. You don't have any money. What am I supposed to do? But I teach realtors how to help veterans access those resources in the class. Um, it's a lot that we can learn as a community so that we will not have any more homeless veterans. Hello. Thank you. For what? You're welcome. But thank you for what? Tell me, talk to me so I can say something back. Well, yeah. I am a consultant. I have a link on TikTok because I'm also streaming over here to YouTube. And y'all can follow me on YouTube as well under my name, Yvette Jones Swanson, or Vet Mentors. That's what I do. We don't have to have homeless veterans. It's it's enough resources in our community. As long as those resources are being appropriated, thank you for the knowledge. You're welcome. As long as those resources are being appropriated the correct way and in helping these organizations appropriate those resources the right way, is getting those veterans over to those resources, having that veteran make the phone call, walk into that office, make sure that veteran has an ID, take that veteran to the nearest VA to get checked in, to get issued an ID, make sure they can get an ID and get issued an ID, get into the medical service, take them over to the regional office so that they can apply for disability. That's what we have to do as a community, and that's what, as community members, everyone needs to learn. What does this veteran is homeless? Why is this veteran homeless? Because the veteran doesn't have any money 9 times out of 10. The reason the veteran doesn't have any money is because they're not service connected. They're not getting any money from military disability. They never applied. Nobody ever said, "Hey, why don't you come with me? I'll help you meet a VSO." you know, Nobody ever drove them to the Social Security. Hey, you know what? You should probably apply for some Social Security benefits, man. What's up? Really help a veteran out. Those are just two financial resources. Let me see what you say. Have you ever heard of VV, VVS, SSVF, Supportive Services for Veteran Families? Yes, I have. That's what all this money is. 3.2 billion. This coming next fiscal year is $6 billion. SSVF. Those are organizations, but let me finish. I done drink up all my water, but I'm gonna put that other water in there. These organizations right here, SSVF, those are the primes. Okay? They are the prime receiver of those millions of dollars that I was reading off. Can they do all that work? Probably not. Probably not. But guess who can? Hold on, let me read this. I was supposed to be getting help through them, but they kind of lost contact with me. Where are you again? Tara? You a veteran. You are exactly right about that. Let me see. North Carolina. Send me an inbox so I can work directly with you, okay? Because there's no reason for you not to have any of these resources. No. It's just that you don't know. One of the agencies dropped the ball on one of my girls in my book here. Um, and I sent her an email, and she called. She's the director of veterans housing and she for women veterans for Illinois. So she called me today, and she said, "I got your email." She said, "I can't believe that." She said she was going. She had a place for her to go. She's a single female veteran with 4 children. 3 of them, the mama took and told her, "You can't come stay with me because they clash," and the baby is still in the hospital, born with Down syndrome. I'm like, this girl has her life cut out for her. So I sent her a ton of resources, and we got the assistance. We found a lot of furniture and furnishings, and because they set her stuff out, low down, dirty dogs, when she was evicted. One of the agencies, one of the management companies that I know, I'm like, damn, y'all didn't have to do it like that. Y'all could have called me to help her get some resources. Really, I'm the resource queen. So she said, let me, what's her name? And I told her her name. And she said, let me give them a call to find out what happened. I said, who did you refer her to? She wouldn't tell me that. She said, I'll call you back. I said, well, call her first, the female veteran. Call her first, because she's the one who needs this. Yeah. Oh, and then it's up to you as the veteran when I send you those resources to make those phone calls. Keep a notebook, keep all your notes with you. When I say, what happened this week or the next day, 2 days, you follow up with me and tell me what's going on. Because I keep a record of all of this in our notes, and you will receive those notes every time I make an update. You see it. You make an update, I see it. So she said, hold on, let me see. I don't know how to inbox you. You have to be my friend and then send me a message on TikTok. I need your email address, your full name, and your phone number. And, yeah, or there's a link. There's a link that says, "Ooh, I should have put it on here. My bad." But yeah, send me a message on TikTok. Oh, so yeah, it's not the VA. I'm not going to say it's not the VA because it's everybody. It's everybody. It's everybody. I was with my doctor today. I have a holistic doctor at the VA. He's the only doctor at this VA. The only doctor, only holistic doctor. And he told me, he said, I'm just tired. I said, I know. I am too. What you think? I am too. But because we still have homeless veterans, we can't be tired. I, I can't be tired. And because we still have veterans who go see him, who want to know the knowledge and information that he has, he can't be tired. I said, if you want to be tired, then, leave the VA and start yourself a program and get some of this money from these SSVF organizations or from any other social organizations that receive finances from the government because they have to contract with community and with other um, agencies like mine. So that's why you see these on the back because I am an agency and these organizations contact me for housing. So now they contact me and like, look, if I say I'm referring somebody, then we have an agreement. You got to pay me. You want to, let me tell you, if these organizations want a referral to use the money that the government gives them, then they pay my company as a subcontractor. I'm sending them funding that they can pull from. They do a contract to house a lease to house a homeless veteran under a contract for 12 months, 24 months, 36 or 48 months. Then the federal government is like, okay, you're using the money responsibly. So we're going to give you more. And then on top of that, more because you still have an office, you have staff to pay, you have other expenses. So now all of that, what are you using all this money, this $2.5 million for? They're going to itemize that. So they're using money. Their staff is getting paid. They're getting paid. They're running this business. I'm a business. You want my business that they're calling me, and I'm going to send them to you. So now we have an agreement. That's how that works. So, oh, I done talked myself to 10 o'clock. I want to thank y'all for being here. I may do this more often because what I want to do is talk about some of these housing. I don't even have to tell y'all about the ones that I'm working with for the month of April because it's the same thing for every single person. Where did you say you live? North Carolina. North Carolina. No, Mississippi, Illinois, Ohio, South Carolina, Nevada, Hawaii, and DC. So you're going to get a brand new list of resources for North Carolina, and then North Carolina might go in another book, or I'm going to start doing some free downloads. Something. It's just so much to do. There's so much to do. It is a lot to do, and I enjoy doing it because this gives me something to do. Because I haven't had a job. I used to say I haven't worked, but I work every day. I haven't had a job working for someone else in 22 years. I've been housing homeless veterans now for 22 consecutive years. And now my partner and I, Sky, um, oh shoot, I'm Ventures. We call ourselves Sky Vet. So that's what I do. Sky. Oh, it's cute. I like it. But hold on. I'll tell you. But anyway, um, I do the program. So you say, Yvette, I want to do some veterans housing. I'm like, okay, what? What do you want to do? Oh, I just want to house some veterans. I'm like, okay, what do you want to do? How does that look? Paint me the picture. I just want to house some veterans. It's a lot of veterans that are homeless, and I just want to house them. How does that look to you? Really? You have a house, you want to put them all in, you want to, I don't know what you want to do. What does that look like? Because eh, it's, it's exhausting. But what is being done is I help them out. You are an investor, you an entrepreneur, put it that way. Because there are some investors who say, "Well, I just want to own the property. I don't want to do a program. I just want to get the rent." Oh, okay. So in that case, just like let's say the independent living homes, you just want to get the rent right. Cool. Your rent is how much? $2,000. Okay, dokie. So now we have an entrepreneur who says, well, thank you for the hearts. I am going to rent this house because the landlord said he only wants the rent. and I'm going to do me an independent living facility. And it's four, let me see, 5 bedrooms, and that's 10 veterans. So that's 10 times, let's say 700. So that's $7,000 a month. Mm-hmm. Yep. And the veterans are responsible for keeping that house clean. Even though you're going to have a housekeeper come, you're going to be there, have different people come by to do different things. The doctor might want to stop by and see the veteran, whatever. Um, so now you're making $7,000 a month, and that landlord is getting his 2,000. That's $5,000 a month for housing these homeless veterans. You can do that. So now, how does your plan look in your head? Tap, tap. Hey, Jacob, thank you. You just woke up, and it's time for me to go to sleep. So now you're getting $5,000 a month. The landlord is getting his money. So is that the type of housing you want to do? Now, you want to do that, there are certain things you have to do in order to do that. That's a whole plan. Rules and regulations, how are you going to set it up? How are you going to keep it secure? It's just a whole litany of things. What type of housing do you want to do? Because that's how we determine the types of programs. And then how it's determined the types of contracts or grants that will be procured on the house. On that, not the house, but the program. And let's say you have a facility, it can be procured for the whole facility. Because sometimes the government says, you know what, this is something we really need. Volunteers of America all across the country, and it's still not enough. So you have a facility like that, but not just a facility where veterans come and they stay until they die. Hold on, let me read this. I can't see. I believe that I was sent to you because I needed to hear this tonight, and it has opened a door for me. Praise God. I love it. And that's what it should. It should, because no veteran needs to be homeless or without resources when we have so many. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay. This is a stack of resources right here. All of these flyers and things. These are programs. Programs. Just these are programs just what I found in the city of Chicago. And then the wellness wheel. And all of those programs, there's one in there to teach you how to play the flutes. Every single one of those programs is receiving funds. They may not be the prime like the SSVF organizations, but they might be the sub. Somebody's paying for these veterans to go to these programs. Because otherwise, how is a program going to run if they're not getting any type of funding? Somebody has to pay somebody. When you say I'm a not for profit, I don't get paid. Why not? That's a service. How are you going to run your not for profit if you don't have any revenue coming in? You have to pay. You have to do your taxes every year on a not for profit organization. It's a business, so you have to have set up the not for profit organization. You have to pay for that. You have to have an accountant because every year you have to do taxes. Did I say taxes already? You have to account for where the money is going. Your letters. I mean, it's just a lot. So you're teaching a flute lesson. That's a business. So you have to get some type of compensation because it's a program. Somebody's paying that organization. There's a lot of different programs that I'm like, oh my God. Oh, it was the women's fishing. I'm like, okay, I might do that one day. They've got the scuba diving. They got to learn how to swim. They got kick. I mean, they get. Oh, I would have to go through it all. Those are programs that we have access to, and programs are in every city, every state, every county, every village, and somebody pays for those programs, and we have access to those programs as veterans. Anybody would like to know anything, because it is time for me to stop talking and go to bed. Thank y'all for watching. Oh, thank you for watching too. I'm live on YouTube. Oh wow, 99% uploaded. I've been live for 2 hours. Running my mouth. Y'all could have told me something. Y'all could have told me something. Okay, how do I stop this? All right, bye for now.